Welcome to another edition of the CS Podcast, where you can hear interviews with special guests such as
Dale Buchanan, Tom Waddle, Pierre Desir, Brent Berry, Ed Werder,
and many others.
Too big, too strong, too fast, too good.
So be sure to subscribe and tune in to the CS Podcast on YouTube at youtube.com/ChristianRE722.
Did you not get the memo?
That's www.youtube.com/ChristianRE722 for great interviews. Be sure to check out the CS Podcast.
You are ridiculous.
Welcome back to the CS Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Chanafel, and I'm now joined by 2015 NFL Draft prospect, defensive end, outside linebacker out of East Central University, Daniel Holland. I appreciate you taking some time to chat tonight, Daniel. How's everything going?
Everything's going good. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing great. It's definitely a pleasure to get you on. And let's go ahead and get right to it. Now, coming out of high school, Daniel, I see that you decided to take the JUCO route and attend Victor Valley College in California, where you really had a very solid year there, tallying 35 tackles, 15 tackles for loss, and 9 sacks. You then decided to transfer to East Central University in Oklahoma. I mean, a lot of bouncing around. I believe you're from Florida. You went to Victor Valley, which is in California, and now you're at East Central in Oklahoma. My first question for you is a quite simple one. Why did you decide to transfer to East Central University and play football for the Tigers?
East Central was a school that I felt like there was a program that was going to help me develop my skill set as a football player and as become a better man. And the school has a very great tradition of producing great defensive ends, like Mark Gassino, Hall of Fame, and the former NFL player right now, Monty Bryant. So I'm like, well, and that's great tradition, so I decided to come here.
I see that your first year at East Central, you were able to see playing time in 8 of the team's 11 total games. And then your second year in 2013, you were able to play in 7 games. And while you were on the field, you made an impact. I mean, throughout those 2 years, you put up 34 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 8 sacks, 2 forced and recovered fumbles, and a touchdown. So when you were on the field, you were certainly making plays, but you weren't on the field for every game. Can you just tell us why that was and what your mindset was like entering this past season, knowing that it'll be your final go-around at the college level?
Well, my sophomore year, I played behind 2 All-Americans, Jason Kessens and Amani Bryant. Mm-hmm. So I had to, watch and emulate and try to learn the game. My junior year was the year that I had to, find myself as a football player, to find out what I can do, play at this level. I ran into some injuries. I pulled the hamstring my junior year. So I sat out, 4 games my junior year to, recover and get better. So, I ended up with 6 sacks that year. And then my senior year, I dedicated all my time into my off season, to get my body right. Be ready to put my body through, the things that I know that I can do. So that was just one of the things, I tackled on,
And, of course, looking back, you had a lot of success, no doubt about it. But what were your expectations for this past season, though? I mean, like I said, you had a lot of success. You recorded a career-high 43 tackles, 18.5 tackles for loss, 14.5 quarterback sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 fumble recovery. I mean, did you have any idea that you would have that type of season?
Yes, indeed. My whole thing was finished. Last year I had a hot start. Coming into my junior year, I was in the pack. And, the Great American and sacks into my junior year, I encountered the injury. So, I told myself, coming into my senior season, that, I can easily break the conference record, say go and become an All-American and chase the career record, which, I came short by 4 sacks. So, the sky was the limit. I knew I was going to be a dominant player at this level because, I dominated in junior college. So it just took time, just to mold my game. That's all it was. Working on my craft.
And, of course, with the 14.5 quarterback sacks this past season, if I'm not mistaken, that is the new record for the conference. Now, playing JUCO ball and then playing at East Central, what would you say is the biggest difference between the two?
The biggest difference between junior college is there are more athletes on the field. Division II, they're athletes, but it's more technical. You got to focus more on fundamentals. And that was one of the biggest, the difference for me. Just to correlate, because I always had the athletic ability, but once I got the fundamentals out of the game down, it came pretty easy. A lot easy.
So you're, correct me if I'm wrong, but 6'3", 252 pounds. Does that sound about right?
6'3", 245 pounds.
Okay, now I see that you're listed as a defensive end / outside linebacker. At East Central, it seemed like you had your hand in the dirt most of the time. I did see some plays on your highlight film where you were standing up as well. But do you have a preference whether your hand's in the dirt or not?
It doesn't matter because, this year it was, my senior year is more catered to helping the team. So this year I was one of the best pass rushers on the team, and the coach was like, well, he was like, he wanted me to put me in the best situation because for one-on-one matchup, going against, the team's best tackles. And, I went ahead and, I did what I do. I know how to get to the quarterback, but I really don't have no preference between the two. I think I'm very versatile when it comes to standing up. Because one thing I say, segment from everybody else, I have an extremely quick step. My first step is lethal.
Yeah.
That definitely separates me from a lot of people.
Chris Schanfeld talking with 2015 NFL draft prospect, defensive end, outside linebacker, Daniel Holland out of East Central University. And Daniel, over the last 4 years, whether it's at the JUCO level or even at East Central, who would you say is the best or most impressive player that you've had to play against? Does anybody specific stick out?
Oh, my gosh, man. Kyle Long, junior college, he was out of that college. He definitely was a specimen. Just seeing a guy 6'7", 290 pounds, being freakishly athletic the way he was. He was a baseball player coming out of, Florida State. I was pretty impressed by him and Malik Watkins. Those are two good tackles that, I won against in junior college. And my teammates, Kevin Bourne and Travis Henney, those two guys, were two pretty impressive, tackles, that I was blessed, just to compete against every week, to help me elevate my game to the next level. So, those guys right there, eventually I'll hopefully see them on playing on Sundays.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned Kyle Long. This show's broadcasted out of Chicago. He was a first-round pick for the Chicago Bears just a couple years ago. And, and you mentioned he was a baseball player as well. So if he decided to take the MLB route and play professional baseball, he would have ended up in Chicago as well. He was also drafted by the Chicago White Sox. So it's funny how that worked out. You said maybe you'll be seeing them on Sundays. Maybe you'll be Kyle Long's teammate soon with the Chicago Bears, because I'll tell you what, this defense definitely needs some younger talent, and you're definitely an intriguing prospect. Now, what would you say is the biggest or most memorable play that you've made throughout your college football career?
The most memorable career, it had to be Southeastern of my junior year. We was down 9-9. And I came up with the sack force fumble, and I picked it up and took it to the house. That is one of my greatest moments of my college career. That one, and my first game of my senior season when I played against Arkansas Monticello, I had 3 sacks that game. Mm-hmm. I think that first game of the season when I hurdled over a running back and got the sack, that was pretty sweet. I surprised myself.
Hey, there you go.
How much of an athlete I am.
Yeah, so I mentioned you ran a 4.53 40. You mentioned that your first step is deadly. What do you feel is your biggest strength as a defensive end / outside linebacker?
My biggest strength? My technique and my leverage, the way I play with leverage. I know how to, bend the edge very good, For me to be my size and way I can carve an edge, you know, it's just it's too many. Not too many people can, you know, can carve edges. You know, I see a few people, like professionals who does it very well. You know, like Robert Mathis and Von Miller. You know, those guys, you know, get on top of the edge and finish. So, those guys, I try to like emulate my game after. And you know, I see the comparison in us with that because you know we share some of the similar, you know, athletic traits. You know.
Mm-hmm. It's funny that you mentioned that. You already named Robert Mathis and Von Miller as guys that play a similar style as you. Is there anybody else currently playing in the NFL that you might compare your game to?
There's a lot. There's a few. You know, I like Bruce Irvin. I like Terrell Suggs. You know, Marcus Ware. But there's so many. I can keep going. Tom Bodley. You know, these are like premier. You know. Justin Houston, like, I just watch premier pass rushers, you know, and try to learn and see what can I do, you know, to then emulate and put in my game. So when it comes, I can really say I like Terrell Suggs, so perfect one for me.
All right. Chris Schanfeld talking with 2015 NFL Draft prospect out of East Central University, Daniel Holland here on the CS Podcast. And Daniel, just a few more questions before I let you go. Now, when I say 2015 NFL Draft prospect, I mean, what goes through your head, man? I mean, I got to think it's been a long, lengthy, hard process, you know, throughout these last 4 years. I mean, can you believe that you're entering the 2015 NFL Draft?
Yeah, it's a dream come true, you know. It's something I've been longing for since I was a kid. You know, just thinking about, you know, have an opportunity to attend a place where they, you know, just to have an opportunity to get in front of a scout and just, you know, showcase my talent. So,
is there any chance that you've been able to chat with any scouts or have any idea what they might be saying about you?
My agent, we've been communicating with my agent. He's been telling me, like, most scouts want to see, you know, how strong I am on the 225 bench press and see my, you know, my hand speed on my 40. That's about it. But that's the one thing that may concern.
I've already mentioned it a few times that you've recorded a 4.53 40-yard dash. Very impressive to say the least. Is there any chance that you were able to watch any of the defensive ends or linebackers this past weekend in Indianapolis at the NFL Combine? I know Clemson's Vic Beasley and Florida's Dante Fowler made a lot of noise. What are your thoughts on the guys that are getting a lot of the attention?
Man, those guys are some animals, man. They're some freak animals. You know, they're pretty impressive. I can't knock that. Vic Beasley definitely going through the drills, and, you know, Flowers going through the drills, you know. Those guys, you know, show what they can do, you know. But, you know, I can say one thing I can say about myself and the difference from them is it'll come down to, you know, the 10-yard split. You know, football for 40 yards, that's a plus. That's cool. But you want to know how fast can you get from 10 yards, you know. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's going to separate me from, you know, most of the elite pass rushers in this class.
Something funny that made a lot of noise at the NFL Combine was Dante Fowler wearing his nice gold watch during his 40-yard dash. Are you going to be wearing any bling and show off your swag to the scouts at your pro day?
No, not my pro day. I ain't the flashy type, man. I'm just an old school football player, you know. I just want to go out there and, you know, have fun, man. I'm a competitor.
Sounds great. Now, Daniel, let's say there's an NFL general manager listening to this very interview. Why should he want defensive end, outside linebacker out of East Central University, Daniel Holland, a part of his team?
Work ethic, you know, willing to learn, to come in, to learn the scheme. And another thing that it will get, you know, from me is, you know, well-grounded. So that's just me. You know, on the field, you know, I'm a very hype guy, but, you know, now it's looking for character. You know, so being a very well-rounded guy, you know, work hard, I'm a family man, so.
You said that it'll be a dream come true to just get an opportunity to play in the NFL. Has it sunk in yet that you've played in your final college football game and that the next time you play will be in the pros?
Yeah, just hearing that, your name being brought up by different scouts, and they're saying they want to see you, just put yourself in a position or in a conversation, that's just something, I'm always longing for, that's I'm a little guy, so it's just because my name is put in, I feel like I got a chance,
Well, and the draft is just a little over 2 months away. It's actually going to be here in Chicago for the first time. What's next for you? I mean, are you training anywhere? Are you participating in any NFL regional combines? Can you just tell us where you're at as of right now?
Well, right now, I'm in school finishing up graduation in May. I have a pro day March 9th at Tulsa University. So that's where I'm going to, host my pro day there. So I'm getting ready for that right now. Getting ready for that. So.
All right, so yeah, that's definitely coming up very soon here in just the next couple of weeks, March 9th at Tulsa. Any specific numbers that you want to hit?
40-inch vertical. High 4.4.
All right.
That's my goal, I want to showcase that. Shuttle, I want to go for the record. I know it's like 3.8, but, they say I ain't for that. You might fall on the stars, so, I'm aiming for that right now.
Hey, man, go big or go home, I'll tell you that. Final question for you, a little fun one to end the interview. If you had the opportunity to sack one quarterback, whether they're playing nowadays or retired, who would that be and why?
Quarterback? Yeah, it'd be Tom Brady.
And why is that? I mean, I know he just won his, third, fourth Super Bowl, been to 5-6. I mean, is it because, do you feel he's the greatest quarterback to play?
He's definitely one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say the greatest, but he's definitely one of them. But I love the passion, he has for the sport, the competitive that he brings to the sport. I feel like we need more guys like that to, come and play the sport, because if you got a guy like that trash talks, that's going to bring the best out of you.
Yeah, I remember a few years ago, somehow Tom Brady was able to juke Brian Urlacher out of his shoes, man. And, Tom Brady was definitely in his face letting him hear about it. So, if you don't get to Tom Brady and he gets away from you, man, you better be ready to hear from him.
Oh, yeah, man, that's the one thing about it, man. You gotta capitalize on that. So, I ain't really too worried about him getting away from me.
Hey, well, Daniel, I got to say, man, that's all I have for you. I really do appreciate your time. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Definitely wishing you nothing but the best throughout this process. Best of luck March 9th at Tulsa University during your pro day. Do you have anything else for us before I let you go?
Oh, no, man. I just appreciate your time, Chris, man. Just having me, speaking with me, just talk football, and get a little insight of what's going on with me. I appreciate it.
Right on. Well, hey, hopefully we can keep in touch, and let's do this again down the line, man. Once again, best of luck, and take care, all right?
Likewise.